Vibes drop in. Kianti's Pizza and Pasta. Kelly, Tracy, here we are. I'm gonna start with the loaded question. Before we started, I asked might talk about the history of it. You said that's too long to remember. I'm gonna force this to go all the way back. Who wants to take the question, for me, because, I've been around, but I still don't know necessarily the nuances of this story. It's like, what was the inspiration for this, this business, and how did you two come together? What's the story?
Goes back a long time.
That's a long story. That's a lot longer than Kianti's because we went to high school together.
Oh, right on.
And then we went to college together. And in college, just decided we both worked in restaurants for years and decided this is what we were good at the time.
High school around here?
No, we went to high school in Yosemite.
Oh, right on.
Yosemite High School.
Yeah. Shout out. What's the high school name?
Yosemite High School.
And the mascot?
Badgers.
That's so great. And so, and clearly there's never entrepreneurial kind of spirit when you're in high school. It's just friends and you're kind of going through life, and then college. I guess I'll help with this question. When did it start getting a little more serious, or when did you start talking like, yo, let's maybe do some business together? Do you remember that at all? Like when High school.
Same.
It was high school. What was it, a lemonade stand?
Right out.
No, we actually did a shaved ice business.
No, you didn't.
We went down and got a business license. And we opened a shaved ice at Bass Lake and did it all summer long.
And was it fairly successful?
Yeah,
It's good.
Like traditional shaved ice, or just did you do
traditional.
like traditional, like old school, like super condensed?
You buy the blocks.
How many flavors?
What a few.
Yeah, I don't even know.
20.
Yeah.
How'd you finance it? Did you go
Well,
small
we worked-
business loan?
No, we worked at nights in a restaurant.
That's incredible. That's incredible. And so that started the connectivity. And what did you have a name for it? Did you brand this little place? No. It was just like a crayon sign, shaved ice.
We had a whole trailer set up and painted it, and
How much was it per?
at that posh. It's been
I don't know.
$1?
couple bucks.
Couple bucks.
Right.
Okay, so that
$1.50.
starts like this fundamental relationship. We can do something together and have fun, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so then let's fast forward a little bit
And be our own boss, right?
and be your own boss.
So
and
that
be your
was
own
great.
boss. Did you guys work good together? Was there ever any tension?
Oh, there's always tension.
Yeah.
Our total opposites, but that's why it works.
It does. Where it's like personal relationships sometimes are a great like A to B connector of what makes a good business relationship, right? A little bit of transparency, a little bit of forgiveness,
Yep.
a little bit of long-term future planning. Okay, so let's, for the purpose of this one, let's move forward a little bit. So I'm assuming now we're getting out of college, and then you stay connected right out of college also?
Yeah.
Yes, we planned like at the end, like during college, that we were going to do something, do a restaurant.
Yeah.
And we actually got involved in a franchise that was kind of local for us, and that's what we thought we'd start because we had never had like back of the house knowledge or
Oh, right. Yeah.
books, like where to keep payroll and food costs and all
Yeah.
of that. So we kind of got involved in that, and we learned a lot of it. We did that our goal was 5 years.
Yeah.
But we moved to Washington
Oh, right on.
and did it. And
What
then
city? Where?
Medical Lake,
Near
Washington.
Spokane.
Spokane.
All right, that's better. Yeah, give me a friend. Medical Lake, Washington.
Yeah.
Okay, and so goal was 5 years, and
And then they offered us a second one because that one was we took over. So they offered a second one back in California, and we were like, "There's no way! It's so hard.
yeah.
So much work and time we put in it." And then we wanted to come back to California.
Right
so
on.
So we took it. Tracy moved back. I stayed there until that one sold.
We were in
And,
Chile for about a year, I guess.
But you didn't come back to Santa Cruz.
No.
No.
That was in Winters, California.
Okay.
That was because there was a beach factory there.
Gotcha.
That we took over, had closed down and took over. And for us, they were not doing that. They were closing them, and that was it.
Gotcha.
Nobody was
Yeah,
reopened.
I'm tracking you. And so you were definitely in the pizza lane.
Yes.
Like
were.
so you're pizza people at this point. And so now I got to make that jump from, that to how do we get to the zip code? How did eventually you get here?
Well, we went to school in San Luis when
Yep.
we went to college, and Santa Cruz reminded me a lot of San Luis, but I met someone here.
Okay, gotcha.
And so my partner now, that we've been together for 25 years.
Right on.
Lived here, and I would come down here a lot when we owned the pizza restaurant in Winters.
Yep.
And I told Tracy, it's like San Luis. It reminds me of San Luis Obispo. It's at the beach.
Yep.
Like, let's do the full restaurant there, because we had worked in full-service restaurants with the bar and then got involved in the pizza
Gotcha.
business. And
Yep.
so we combined the two and created Kianti's.
What was your thought when you came to this city? Like, what was your feel? You loved it. Okay.
Yeah. And I knew that our dream restaurant was to be in like a college beach town.
Yeah.
I knew that had to be, our concept would do well there.
No doubt. And I think there's connectors sometimes. There's different ways that you can assimilate into a community, right? Sometimes it's you land and you have kids and it's school.
Yeah.
This is an amazing way to get integrated in the community that you're like, you know, I wrote an editorial at one point, like, what is a local? And I eventually, after spitting out a ton of useless words, I decided a local just means you're here right now. And like that you're engaged in here right now. It doesn't, there's no birthright, there's no like fundamental kind of like claim to this place. I think it means you're here now and you're connected to the community, whether you're feeding them or you're connecting to nonprofits, which I know you guys do a lot of work in the community that way.
Yeah.
Did you find that this was, so now we have the Kianti's brand and you're here, the spirit behind this place and sort of, I guess I always use that word, overuse it, but the ethos of this, the branding, that's a big decision.
Yeah.
Now that you're doing it, because did you have kind of like franchise in mind when you branded this and it could just be singular, but you wanted to brand it as if it was going to be 540 locations?
Right.
We
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
We definitely
all
did.
the time. For years, we got asked all the time, is this a franchise?
It feels like it.
Franchise? Is this...
In a complimentary way. It feels like a franchise from a branding standpoint. And I think it's impressive because you really kind of feel like that hometown kind of feel, the fire's out there, and we'll get to the entertainment. But I think that's one thing that, you know, if we want to TED Talk this a little bit, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world for any business, whether you're at Shea by Stand or Kianti's, you know, reverse engineer it like you're going to be that thing.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, you have a successful business and you've branded the heck out of it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. I think we have people ask us all the time, like she said, if we're a franchise, but we're very family oriented, very family friendly. I think all of our staff feels like we're a family, and
Yeah.
We have managers that have worked with us for 15 plus years. We have one that opened with us, and we used to have like before COVID.
Before COVID,
maybe 5 that opened it with us.
Amazing. And we talked off camera a little bit, and this will be the one kind of put you on the spot, kind of question as far as like in general between the two of you, like to maintain some retention like that with employees. Do you have a concept between the two of you as far as like ethos, culture, things like that? Is it something, and clearly you discuss it, like how do we basically get loyalty? Is that something that, you can share a little bit, like your sort of, I guess your strategy from an owner standpoint to kind of get ownership kind of like feel from your employees?
Yeah, I think it's something that kind of happened over time, and I don't think it was something that we planned on doing. It just kind of organically happened because when you're working side by side with all of these people 12 hours a day,
right,
which we were when we first opened, that's becomes family.
Totally.
It becomes family. And so we tried to take care of our employees the best we could.
Yep.
And in turn, they take care of us.
See, we're spot on?
Yes.
And here's the thing is, like, from a business standpoint, I enjoy it because here's the thing is, that's the abstract. That's kind of, I guess they call it the macro. The micro of that is like, that sure translates to me at the table. Because if you have retention of employees and you have a chance to come back here and see familiar faces and things like that, that's what separates Kianti's a little bit for me is when you don't have that massive turnover and you come down here with friends after a concert or something like that, you do, this is a tourist town. There's a lot of turnover. If you can somehow maintain like consistency, you guys are doing a lot back of the house. If you can maintain that sort of familiarity right here at that host station, that goes a long way with customer retention. Because at that point you kind of get a compliment there. Let's talk about the changes downtown right now. And I know that this is always, one part of it, but I'm always a proponent through our partnerships of kind of welcoming people downtown, especially with a lot of the infrastructure being built. There's a huge commitment right down to growth downtown and to making this essentially a cultural center again. And I'll go back to you, Kelly, really quick. Excited about some of the legislation being passed and some of the investment, especially just down the street here?
Definitely. There's several developments. I mean, they're here behind us. There's a lot of developments that are going to bring a lot of people downtown, which is great.
It is.
I mean, during COVID, it was amazing how much support we had because the city had closed off the street here.
Right.
And we were able to do patios on the street. We were able to do, and it was great. I felt like there were so many more people that came downtown. I mean, we do have homeless, but they're not really in this area when we have people sitting out there eating. The people you want to see down here are out and about with family.
It became a nice atmosphere just for customers.
That's exactly it.
Walk down the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
see all
think
the patios.
It felt, I remember that feeling. It felt like very intimate down here. Yeah. And I've seen in other city centers, one of the greatest things of COVID that did stick with a lot of places was that extension of these outdoor patios, this extension of like community walking through these downtown streets, which it did stick in a lot of places. Yeah. But I do want to kind of say that because I feel like, you know, you get on the bullhorn is that two truths can exist at one time. And one of them is yes, we do clearly, like any other city in California, the United States, have our issues. But the other truth that has to exist is you have to invest in this downtown for, you know, to solve all of these problems together. So I think sometimes we get a little paralyzed by, you know, we all care, we all want to make a difference. But sometimes these two things, but right now to see the city, to see the county, to see everybody sort of meeting in the middle, investing in downtown, I think it's really good news for Kianti's and a lot of all of us that are invested in it down here. So yeah. I know we're going to have this the beginning, hopefully, of some ongoing conversations. And as far as like the traditional, this is the sort of late night TV show, shout outs, like all the handles, right? Instagram, website. And I almost got away without talking about the entertainment, some of the fun things you do.
Yeah.
I don't have my notes in front of me, but for people that don't know, and that'll be a lot of people that watch this video, talk about Eat Weekends and what goes on here. And I don't even know, is it every hour or every half hour?
No, it's 2 times a night, but
2 times a night. Sorry,
Tracy,
I'm putting pressure on you.
Tracy choreographs with one of our managers, and she can
talk about it a little bit.
So it started 21 years ago when we opened.
Yeah,
it was. I used to dance. It was always my dream to keep that going.
Yeah,
it was my passion. So I just choreographed a small little dance that I thought the servers would do.
Yeah,
just to see what happens. Our previous business, I did a full show with my employees and. It was building. I was
Broadway show. It was like a full-on like production. I love it.
But anyway, now it's about a 5-6 minute dance that everyone's involved in. We have pizza spinners.
Oh yeah,
that are out.
Yeah,
they're kind of like the star of the show. And you know, at Christmas, if you do a big Christmas show, Nightmare Before Christmas has been by far the most popular.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do it every Friday, Saturday night, 2 times a night. It kind of depends on the time of the year when we start. It's like,
and it works. I'm telling you right now, we have 3 kids are basically adults now, but I know when we were away from Santa Cruz for a while, we come here, you know, when they were still younger teenagers, and this was the spot because, you know, especially as Fridays and Saturdays, right? Right. Fridays and Saturdays, they were like, yo, there. Kissee can be awesome. And it's a little institution down here. And the best part about it sometimes is what it contributes to the overall Friday and Saturday night vibe when those doors are open and it's blasting and the lights are down. Again, I mean, I want all the business in here but it's pretty awesome even when you're cruising by to feel that energy down here. It makes it feel like you're not in Santa Cruz so much, like you're somewhere else. But okay, well, this is it for this one, for this 5 drop-in. This was awesome. Kelly, we'll do more of this, and that's it.